About anyway.
If,
Let's
you know
talk
what?
about
Yeah, everything.
the youth.
So we're live, and if I didn't press go live, we'd still be talking in the background in a good, fun way. So, good evening, everyone. Scano, Sego, and E. It's just really great to be back here with these two amazing human beings being amazing. I was just saying to them that my phone it has been binging all day with people sharing that they're back on, and so Nyawa for being here. I'm always honored to be able to share this space and place with you here in spirit, and when we gather and we created this platform for the voices of Indigenous people to be heard, to be elevated, to bring people together. And it's just wonderful to see that people have been asking to hear from you, because you're so important to our communities, to our society, to the wellness of the people. And I really don't know what we would be doing without you. You're leading so much amazing work right now. And so, from my heart to yours, Nyawa, and thank you for my children, from my children, because you're showing me, you're guiding me, and how to be a, a good mom and a good friend and a responsible person in society. So I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful for everyone that's joining in this moment and later, and down the road when you visit our website and our YouTube channel. Grandmother's Voice is growing, and we're so happy that you're walking alongside of us. So, Nyawa, and so, hi, Grandmother Renee, and I
Good
say Uncle
evening.
Neil.
Good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to be back here and sharing our evening with you. So I have everyone got their cup of tea and their cookies or whatever. So, or their water, because we're in for an evening with the Dudas, the grandparents, and so we welcome you. I know a lot of you have wanted us to come back again, and so thank you for that request of us coming back into your living room or your rooms and being with you on a regular basis. So I thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to Neil.
Uh, hello, hello. Here I am in Sadabari. I'm in Sudbury this week. Anyway, I want to say thanks for uh, thanks for everything, and just wanted to really say that I'm glad to be back on again. It's been a while. Been a while since we Renee and I had a nice little chat with everybody, and I'm hoping that one day we get to meet each other somewhere along this trail, because I think that's one of the most important things to do is that have that connection,
Mm-hmm.
physical connection with each other, and that brings out the spirit, emotional, and the. Anyways, it brings out a lot of things when we meet together, and I enjoy that. But if we can't get together, this is another way of doing it, I guess. But um, be working with well, actually, grandmother Renee and I will be working together starting Friday, I believe,
Yes.
in Gage Park in Hamilton. So if anybody's close to Hamilton, come and give us a visit. When you come to visit, I'll let grandmother Renee talk to us.
And Neil will sing for you.
Pass the feather.
So,
Yeah.
how has this summer been for you? It's been quite hot, hasn't it? And it's kind of overwhelming sometimes because it's so hot. I was just gathering up some more of my tobacco, and I got tobacco growing again. The seeds that have already dropped, they're starting to come back up again, and I noticed some of my plants are appearing again, and that's a sign of hope. And today I heard the best message ever. It was a message from the youth, and I happened to be work sorting my tobacco out, my leaves, and drying them out, and I was listening to the news, and it says that the youth are stepping up, and they're taking their country to court because they're not preparing their future for them in a good way because of all these things that are happening. What a beautiful, beautiful. I'm just overwhelmed by that. And they're all ages. They're young. They're very young, somewhere between 8 and up, and middle teenagers. And they are standing together, boys and girls. They're taking this throughout the land, throughout Turtle Island, throughout Europe, throughout. It's the youth that are standing up. And so I want to honor them and thank them for this special day. And tomorrow, our future, we're going to be talking about truth and reconciliation. And I am very proud of those youth. They're looking for truth, the truth in their leadership. They're supposed to be taking care of as they say in our way, is to be taking care of the land, the air, and the water, so that no child suffers. And I'm so happy to see that other children, different nationalities, are standing together and bringing their voices up again. And also, it's part of our prediction too, because it says the day will come when the children will rise and will bring forth a new way of understanding. And so I'm very grateful to be here in this present, to see this and to hear it and to share it with you tonight. And so, what are the youth in your community doing? And it's amazing to see the youth, what they're doing. They're not, as they say, they see what they need to do, some of them. They are those special ones that have come from the sky world. They remember their roles and their responsibility. And I wish more adults, would, as they say, stand with their children. I saw all those children standing. Where were the parents? It would be nice if you could see the parents in the background, but it was just the youth. And so just watch the news, maybe 11 o'clock. It'll be on tonight. Check the news. You'll see that. I had to run back. I was in the other part of my kitchen area, and I was sorting out my tobacco, and I had to run back and catch some of it. So hopefully others were watching the news. I don't really watch the news. I just kind of put it on to see. I was going to see what kind of weather is because Neil and I will be outside, and last year was quite blustery, and so hopefully we'll be prepared this time. We'll have enough coats and we'll have
Yeah.
enough teas, hot drinks to keep us warm. So we're looking forward to having you come and visit us and spend some time with us. And Neil will sing for you.
Mungai Pungai, Jiggy Jiggy Jungai.
That favorite song.
#1 song, Canada, United States.
Well known by all.
Yeah, I was very when Renee told me about the young people rising up, and I was quite surprised, and I'm kind of glad it's starting to happen because I've walked my path when I was young. I didn't really know too much about it, and because there was nobody there for me to help me through that stuff, but they were busy anyway. Like they had to keep the house going, they had to keep everything going, my parents, and we did what we could do, and but the listening, hearing about the young people rising up like that and going after the politicians, and I think it's time. It's really time. But then we have to remind ourselves too, as adults, myself being adult, we got to stand up for those children who are standing up for themselves, because that's what we need there. That's the whole basis of life, is that uh, the parents have to stand up, because the parents are the ones that were given the task to look after these young ones coming up, teaching them the right way, teaching them the knowledge of what they had when their grandparents were around, or their mothers were around, their mother and fathers were around, and the grandparents that were around still. Because we need to go back to those teachings. We need to go back to understand the meaning of what life really is. Because when we started off as spirit, it was one of the things that the Creator gave us, was that those tasks that we had to do. And more than likely, these young people, maybe somebody came to them, maybe the spirit that guides them came to them to rise up, to stand for what they believe in, and that's to be taken care of for the things that they need, and their venture, so that life that they have will be a good venture on this path for them. And when I look at young people today, I kind of wonder sometimes, about what are they thinking? What is it they're thinking? And sometimes, when I nod to them when I see them on the boat, some few of them, not all of them, but and they get on the boat, they get off to go to school, come back, get off the boat, and that's just one different way of living. But that I think too that I know that I find fault with myself too sometimes, that I don't talk enough to the young people. I don't talk enough to the young people, because I'm so, people call me to go and I got to go, right? People ask me to be there, so I have to be there. And because again, that's one of the things that I do, look after people, or try to look after them as best I can. And that's through that native spirituality, spiritual, the spiritual part of who we are. Because when we look at and see ourselves as adults, we see that child within, because the child within me needs to feed the ones that are already here, the children, the young people. And when I'm just sitting here thinking about all this, and that's a good thing. That is a very powerful message going out to the people, that the young people are standing up. They need to stand up, and we need to stand with them when they stand up, because they need the backup, and that's who we are. That's We're their backup. So when you see the children, the young people starting to walk or talk, or let's see some parents go up there. Let's go help them. Let's go and join them. Let them do all the talking, and we'll be the ones listening to what they're doing, making sure that nobody, interferes with what they're wanting to say, because what they say is the truth. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the truth. And why is it that these things aren't happening for them? For me, when we talk about things, I try to tell people about the stories that we had growing up. The stories, telling our children those stories. Sometimes young people don't. They say, "Oh no, I don't believe that." But then you got to remember too that nobody's really told them any stories regarding those teachings that we received. As we walk this path of life, right? I learn. I'm still learning. And there's a lot of things I want to learn, and I want to be able to understand it. But I also want young people to be there when I give some of these songs out and the teachings of what's behind it. Give them the words to those songs, because those songs are really important to us. And when I sing for the children as well too, but I do it in a spiritual way. And I sing those songs for them, and when I can. And sometimes people will call me and say, can you sing me a song? And so we go on this. I forget what it's called. Uh, it's something to do with the computers. Anyway, you can chat with them, video chat, I think it's called, or something like that. And sometimes I will sing for them when they ask, but I only sing for them when they ask. So, but again, like it's something that I'm really proud of these young ones who stood up, who
Mhm.
are standing up to do that. I'm very honored to be, knowing that they're doing something. They're doing something. It's kind of like what we're doing now with the reconciliation that's coming up Friday and Saturday. But this all reconciliation is a forever thing now. We have to remind ourselves of that. It never stops. It must continue. We just can't celebrate it for just those 2 days.
Yeah.
We have to celebrate it every day so that the people know what we went through, what our that mom and dads went through, what our grandparents went through, what our great grandparents went through, because they were here when all this thing started to happen. So we got to remember them as well. Am I right?
Very so. Very so. And I'm grateful that we got to see this. We are here and we've been waiting for this. It's almost like our prayers are being answered. And every day we're praying for our people. And we mean everyone. We want them to remember who they are. You know, when you were little, how many of you felt different? I did. I even asked my mom, am I yours? Am I your daughter? How many have asked their mother and their father that? Well, I did. I said, I feel so different. And it took me all this time to realize that we are to feel different. We come from a very special place, a sacred place. We are spiritual beings. And when we come to earth, it's very different because the people have lost their original instruction. And that's why we felt different because it didn't seem to be setting right with us. Things were happening that was against what all the Creator give us, especially wars, especially traumas as yeah, trauma actions and people hurting one another. It was just like you felt different. How come? Why? You ask all these questions. And now I realize that we're very special. We have been given a very unique gift. And this gift is our life. And each of us chose to come here to help the earth, to help our mother, the earth. And it was, I know when I was growing up, I'd be out there in the fields or wherever, and along the roads, around the river. I meant to say along the river, and I come back walking along the road, and you didn't see a lot of garbage like you see today. Oh my gosh, you come outside of any building, what is there? There's garbage. When I was growing up, you hardly saw garbage on the outside, and I was thinking that one day I said, "Oh, Creator, what are we going to do about these people that leave their garbage out?" He probably, because I think I was just young, because I coming into into our communities in our reserve, you would see people would just throw, when people get out to the country, they just would throw things out, and so I just wondered about that. I always ask questions: who, what, when, where, why. I was always interested in life, and I was always talking to the Creator. You find some children, you they say they have invisible friends. Well, I really believe my invisible friend was my ancestors, because it would just seem like it was a natural conversation going on. Because when you're young, you are pure, you are very, very knowledgeable, and you have so many gifts. And today we look at our child as, oh, what are they doing? when a long time ago we understood, we could see things when we weren't afraid. Today, when people see shadows or anything, they get caught up in fear because what are they watching all the time? They're watching these scary movies. Well, we had scary movies too, but we never ever saw so much violence like they are. They would show a scene, and it was always in your mind, imagining. And so it was never really shown what they did. It was always being considered of what we would see that would traumatize us. But so this journey in life is how would you say is those young people, they're closer to the creator, and those babies when they come, they when you hold a little baby, they're looking above you, they're looking and they're smiling. And and sometimes when you're sleeping at night and you feel you wake up during the night and you see somebody sitting there, and I was I had experiences like that, and I would told my grandma, I said there was somebody sitting on my bed, and I said, I wonder who that was. She asked me to describe him, and I said, well, he was big, but he was dressed in old clothes, or maybe it was because it was dark. I couldn't see what outfit he had on. But then she said, it must have been your grandpa. He come to sit with you. He come to let you know he's still watching over you. And I just cried because I wish I could have had more time with my grandpa. But I know he walks with me every day. And so when I'd be down there, it was just at my grandma's, I would be, they would say you have these playmates that are invisible. But our children were very, very spiritually connected. They talked to the ancestors, and the ancestors would come and visit them. But today we're filled with so much fear. We say the boogeyman is here. And so I had a different understanding of, because my grandma said also that this person that you see, you don't recognize, it may be your great, 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 great grandfather way back. That's how love is so strong that your ancestors, 7 generations back, they still come and check on us. They come to see what we're doing. And that's the beauty of it. And so when I saw all those young people, I believed, as Neil had said, they heard, or they heard they needed to do something. And that's that gift that we forget because we're so consumed with headphones and um, music playing on our TV on and everything else. So I'm very grateful that these young people did something with that dream or vision, whatever they had, or the voices that told them to do this. Because one of the things my dad said was, he said, the strongest medicine is the love between two worlds. And that's so true. Because anytime we need support, well, you just have to be open to it, not be afraid. And when we sometimes feel like giving up, they're there. I've had my grandparents come and visit me just when I thought I would say enough. I can't do this anymore. And then my grandma would go, I see her in my dream, and she'd go. And so they give me that strength to brush myself off and to get going and to do what I had to do. And so they're the ones that are guiding us. They're the voices that guide us in that good way. And when we wake up in the morning, it's like they put a thought in our heads because they visit us while we're sleeping. They visit and they talk to us. And so they tell us these good things. And it's sad that people today they think that they're to do evil. That's not it. The ones that it is because of their spirit being so sad that they listen to the wrong part of them, because that hurt wants to hurt others. And so I always so grateful that we have this opportunity to share with you, to talk about these things. That, some night you may be having these dreams, and as a young kid nobody really helped you to understand what you're seeing. And some of these dreams that you've had is a, is what our people would call prophecies. And I imagine those, because I've heard my own niece and nephews have these dreams, these nightmares. And you know what? They're happening, because I remember my niece talking about having a nightmare where she saw the big winds coming. I saw these things too when I was little. And so that was before we even had TV. We just had radio. And so we are supported by nature. And the birds, they tell us these things too. And the other day we were at a conservation site, and they had how could they improve the learning there? And some of them had asked, well, some of them suggested maybe we could have them have audio listening. And I said, no. I said, we need to listen in their language. We're so used to having everything told to us. I said, let them find out for themselves. Let them learn to use their gifts of listening again, so that when they were little, they would talk to their pets, they would talk to their dogs, they would talk to the fish, they would talk to the trees, they talk to the waters, and they would get answers. So today is a challenge, they say, because a lot of people are used to having these things. So, but I know once they get into that forest, they're going to hear, they're going to hear maybe a cricket, maybe a bird singing, and it's going to resonate in them. You see, that's the sound is vibration, and that's so important. And I'm so grateful when I see Neil. He has so many songs. He has us really moving, and those songs are very important. And he learns, and I'll let him tell his stories how he gets those songs. And so I'm going to turn it over to Neil.
No, I don't want to tell you. Just going back to the dreams sometimes, or the spirit that comes to sit on your bed. Actually, when my good friend here was talking, all of a sudden this thought popped into my head, and I think about that. I was just thinking about that while you were talking, and suddenly it just dawned on me. Sometimes that spirit that sits at the edge of your bed could be you in your future.
Mhm.
And it's the future that comes back to look at you, to see where you are in this walk of life, this path that you're walking on. And I think about that. I'm really thinking about that right now. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's your future self coming back to sit with you. That's just a thought that popped into my head. Again, you have to think about these things sometimes, and that's what makes things happen. We
Mhm.
need to sit down and think again. And I think that's where our problem sometimes, is right there. We stop thinking. And I mentioned this before in a couple of workshops regarding thinking, that we're not a thinking people anymore. We
Yes.
let these devices think for us. We let these devices think for us. And again, for me, I look at these devices. Don't get me wrong. I look at them too, and I see things on there. a lot of the times I talk with the elders from up this way sometimes, and I talk to a few of them. Actually, I just talked to a friend of mine from not too far from Sudbury here, just outside the town actually, and we talked a little bit about what her mom taught her. So I told her, I said, I'd like to come up and hear that. So I did. The trade-off there was one of the songs that I sing. So I sang a song that she recorded because she liked this one song. Then I asked her for that teaching regarding the marriage ceremony. See, that's what the other thing I'd like to be doing is that marrying people traditionally and doing that kind of work. I know a little bit about it, but I know another lady in North Bay. Actually, we'll be going to North Bay in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to ask her to sit down with her and take a gift and talk to her about a little bit more about that. And you see, the thing is with me when I see two couples coming together, they were meant to be, because that's one of the things that we talk about sometimes too, is that they're meant to be together, and they're meant to bring children into this world and to look after them the way they're supposed to be looked after. And that's that kindness, right? When I sing that children's song, "Keep it gonna go," no, "We do quada benojim nan." That's what that one song is. "We do quada benojim nan." Let us help our children. Let us help our children. Let us help them go through. If they come crying to you, and the best thing for you is not to say anything, but what the best thing to do is to hug them and hold them close. And when you look at the child, when you look at your children, or even the grown up children do need that too. Grown up children need that too. They need that hug. Growing up, they told me not to cry, but that. So when I look at that and I think about that, it's okay to cry. Yeah, you need to cry. So we do quada benojim nan. That's the part that where we go to help them with anything they need, not anything that they get stuck on. That's where we come in as adults, parents, grandparents. But some of the young people don't need our help though. But when they do, who do they go to? That's the question. Who do they go to? Who will they go to? So when I sing that children's song, "We do quada benojim nan," let us help our children. And that's the next verse on that one is, "We jiwada benojim nan." Let us go with our children. Look what the young people are doing now. We need to go with them. We need to go with them and stand with them. We need to do those things that are important to them, so it becomes important to us as well, as adults, as grandparents. See, I'm not young anymore. I'm no spring chicken. Most of my feathers are gone. I look like a barnyard clucker now. But these songs that I have, I want to be able to sing to them. I want to be able to sing to you. I want to be able to sing to the young people, because that's what these songs are all about, the relationships. Healing through song, the relationship, is the workshop I do. Healing through song, the relationship. So when we go with our children, when babies are small, right? We go to them when they call. And how do they call us? Well, they go, "Wah!" You jump out of bed, you run to the crib, pick the baby up, bring it to the bed, and change the diaper, get the milk ready, and then suddenly you can hear them snoring away. What a beautiful sound that is. I don't mean snoring, but they have a voice when they sleep. and you could hear it. Right? When my daughters were young, they used to sleep with us. Oh my goodness. They come, Daddy, Daddy, what do you want? I want to sleep with you, Dad. I'd lean over, pick her up, put her in the middle. 5 minutes later, the other girl shows up. Pick her up and put her in the bed. And what they do then is the beautiful part about that, right? Is that when they put them in your bed beside you, they cuddle up close to you because they want to feel the warmth of your body, the warmth of your body that protects them through the night. So we go with our children. We jiwada binojimna. Let us go with our children. The fourth part of that song is Jibinada. Let us hold our children. Remember, I said that when the child cries, the child will come to you. But sometimes people will turn the child away because there's no reason for that child to cry. But we have to remember, we are the caretakers of these children. And when the child comes to you crying, the first thing that you should do is either pick up the child or pick the child up on your chair and sit back and just pat his or her back and don't say anything. Just let that child cry. Because it wants your warmth. It wants that when you hold a child like this, when they're on your shoulder or like, with their head on your shoulder, you can hear them. They're sending that message to you. They're hurting. Why are they hurting? We don't know. Then after a little while, the young child will stop crying, and then you'll notice that the child is sleeping. Why is the child sleeping? Because the safety, the baby or the child is safe in your arms. And when you turn and you know how you try and turn and look at your child while they're sleeping. Then you slowly get up, put the child, put the little ones in bed, and you look at them for a second, and how beautiful they are laying there. And that's what they're looking for, is to be held when they cry, when they get hurt, or somebody says unkind things to them. Even as grown-ups, we still have to hug our children. Jibnada, let us hold our children. The fourth verse of that song is Zagada Benojimna. Those that can speak the language can understand what that word means. Zagada meaning let us love our children. Let us love our children. Let us love them. Let us love them for who they are. Let us love them even no matter what they do. And that's that tough love. We talk about that. I know myself and Renee and grandmother Renee, we talk about stuff like that to other people when we do workshops together. That tough love. So that's that song, the children's song. Wido kwada benojim na. Wiji wada benojim na. Jevanada benojim na. Zaga da benojim na. Let us help our children. Let us go with our children. Let us hold our children. And let us love our children. When that song came, it was at a meeting. I think I told some of you this before. That came at a meeting with the CAS workers, family service workers from Native communities, and the chiefs. And it was in a hall, Rama Hall. It was in Rama to meeting. And I was sitting there listening to what was going on. And all of a sudden, in the back, my back side and my right side in the back, I could hear this sound of drums. I could hear it real clear. Then it disappeared. Then the second time it came, that two people were starting to argue. Their voices starting to get louder. And as the old guy or the elder that sat there to look after all this, I could hear this song coming. I could hear it. Finally, it got to me. Kind of like it hit like that. And finally, I got up and I said, "Okay, I mean, I think we need to stop this part." I said, "I want to let you know that a song just arrived. I want you to tell you that a song just arrived, and I want to sing it for you. It's a children's song," I said. That was the first time that song ever came, was at that meeting, because family service workers work for families and their children. The chiefs are there to protect the children as well. No one should not really get by the chiefs if the chief is strong enough. But they were there. They were there at that meeting, and the CAS workers as well. When I started to sing that song, everything quiet and right down. Everything quiet and right down. And I told them, this is what we know. You're here to talk about the children. You're here to do the things that need to be done for them. And now when I hear Grandmother Renee talking about the children, standing up. So those songs are very important to all of us. They tell the story. They tell the story between our spiritual being, our physical being, our emotional being. And when those songs talk about that, those songs come from up there. They come from Creator. Songs are sent to other people to sing. Songs are sung by other people to help people move forward in life. You know, for me, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth. I want to be here long enough so I can help enough people to move forward. See, like I said before, a long time ago when I first started these videos. But how do you say that again? Key with Totah. So when we started that, you know, I was a little nervous because I much rather see people when I talk to them, because I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what people are saying. Maybe people think, "Oh, what's he talking about?" But I think I know. I pretty well know what I'm talking about. But when we sing these songs, again, like I said, these songs came to me quite a while ago. That first song that I ever sang, "Walking with Creation," came back in 1994 when I made my first drum. And I told some of you this before. Some of you that are on there maybe heard me say this before.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started to sing. And guess where that song I used that song in a conference way back in Toronto. I think the first one was in Milton, I believe, and it was for the children.
Yeah.
That's the first time I sang that song, was at that conference, and was for the children. And see how far we've come. And that song still, sometimes people ask for that song, Walking with Creation song. People still ask for that because it touches, you know, like they know that spiritual part of who they are. Because this vessel that I walk in is starting to hurt. I'm trying to keep my body like Grandmother Renee and Jody were talking about, seeing a person that deals with the body. But then I met another gentleman past couple of days here in Sudbury who talked about the medicines. I started using them. Start learning them. Start understanding what these medicines do for the body. Sometimes sometimes I eat McDonald's. Sometimes I eat Burger King, Wendy's, Harvey's, and you know, I know it's bad for me. It's bad for me because the only reason why it's bad for me is because I only got one kidney. And back in those days, I never really took care of myself. I didn't know how. Nobody showed me. I had to learn that myself. But when I sing songs to people, I feel really good about that. I really feel good about that. And I give them away freely because that was the task. I think that's the task that I'm doing. But I think I'm being given other tasks now. I have my pipe now. Finally got it ready to rock and roll. Ojibwe style, of course. Ever see a Ojibwe guy go rock and roll? You fall off a rock and you roll. But again, like I said, I like having fun. I laugh at me sometimes. I laugh at the crazy things I do, and that's what makes me. I think that's what makes me tick, is I'm able to try to help people as best I can. I try to help their spirit. I try to help what's inside this vessel, this bundle. That's what I called it one time. This body is a bundle.
Yes.
And what's inside this bundle, we need to protect. We need to protect our heart. We need to protect our lungs, our liver, our kidneys, our intestines, and whatever else is in there. Because inside there, it's like the bundle I carry. There's items in there that help people. But in our body, this one here, this vessel, this human vessel, is a bundle. One of the most sacred bundles that is on the earth is the body and the spirit that dwells in there, and what's inside it keeps us moving. We got to protect our eyes so we can see what's ahead. We got to protect our ears so we can hear what's coming. We got to protect our nose so that we can breathe the fresh air if we can find it. Breathe that fresh air from Creator. Then we got to protect our mouth because we have to eat, and that's where everything goes in, and that's where everything comes out. When you think about your voice, you use that voice in a good way, of course. And that's one of the things I try. I tell people about this vessel because there's so many things here that we need to protect inside this vessel. Kind of like when I have to protect my bundle, my eagle feather, my smudge bowl, my sage, my tobacco, my copper cups, and anything else that's in there. I got to protect that. Just like we have to protect what's inside this vessel, the most sacred bundle of all. I'm taking up too much time here. Oh my goodness.
No.
This is where I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop here, and if you want to read my story, go on TikTok. I'm kidding. I'm not even on TikTok, I don't think. I don't even know what TikTok is. See, that's the other part of me. I don't know anything about that stuff.
I don't. Neither do I. And everybody says,
Everybody
"Are
says,
you on TikTok?"
Yeah, exactly. What the heck is TikTok? Is that a clock? There's another one they talk about too, and that's the what is that one?
Chat.
TikTok and something else. I can't remember what it is.
I know. I just. Well, they're going to understand when they get our age. They're going to understand there's going to be new technology, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I remember when Neil and Grandmother Renee were talking about it." They're going to know what we're going through.
Yeah, it's like for us, it's like paddling a canoe uphill with no water. Oh man.
Well, tonight has been a time of renewing our responsibility and our Instagram. Thank you. Instagram. I had to laugh one time. My nephew was having a birthday party. He was texting everybody. No, Facebook, and he was fake Facebook, and he was inviting everybody to his birthday. And it was it was um, probably just a couple hours before his birthday, and he calls me up, and he calls me up, and he says, Andy, he says, I'm having a party, so come on down. So I get there, and he says, I thought how did he put it now? I text everybody, or I Facebook everybody, and I says, well, the Facebook that I want to see is like this. I grabbed a hold of his face, and I said, invite me now. That's my Facebook. He just started laughing. I says, technology is a phase for us, and my son, he even laughs at me because when I'm texting, I had all these years to learn proper English, and for me to do all these little um, words that mean something like LOL. I didn't know what that was for the longest time. They have these little sayings and everything else. And so my son says, Ma, he says, what taking you so long? I says, well, I said, I am writing proper English. I said, I've been taught this for so long. I said, it's going to take forever. It will take forever. So he just laughs at me. So they've been trying to share with me all these new words, and I said, no, no, no. I think if I did it to my grandma, I would be just I would understand what's happening with me. So we talk about that support and our roles and responsibilities, and when a child is born, a child from the baby, well, even before the baby is born, almost 7 years to the birthing of that baby, it's us. We have to prepare our bodies. We have to learn all these things so that we can help our children to be strong, to be resilient. And so when the baby is born from 0 to 7, that's when the parents, that's when you hold them and they have these wraps. Indigenous, I said, I like these scarves now. You can put a baby inside it and just be wrapped around them in this, carrying the baby. And I'm so proud of my granddaughter. Um, she's carrying the baby all the time. And that little one, she just amazes me. And just like Neil said, I may be talking to my future, and I do that in the evening. I talk to all my grandchildren. I just talk to them because I know the wind's going to carry that message. And I said, I'm watching you when you go to sleep at night. I'm there when you're crawling in bed. I said, I'm there, and I'm going to give you a kiss on your forehead. And even with the new baby, I said, Dora visits you, and I talk to you, right? And she just smiles. She understands that I go visit her when I'm far, far away, and I go and visit her in her dream, and I show her that I love her. So we can do that right now when we're missing any of our children, just like when they grow up and they're on their own, you can still do that. You can send them that thought that you love them, that you care for them, and all those things to hold them. Or they may just need that at that time to help them, just like my grandparents helped me, continue to help me when they're not here physically, but they're here spiritually. So that's um, that's a gift that we have been given. We have that ability to speak of those ones, and you know what? It is amazing because when you think of somebody, poof, they're thinking of you too, or you're going to meet them, or they're going to talk to them, or they're going to call. And so that's at first technology. This is the greatest technology, is to use that mind in a good way and talk. I said, okay, my kids, I'm going to go away this week. So what does my son do? He calls me. He's like, Mom, where are you now? So it's telepathy, I guess that's what they call it. But you have that ability to, even if you're away from your children, you can talk to them. Talk to them every night. If you feel they need that boost, just talk to them, or just visualize you're there with them. And that is amazing, because that can happen. And so I believe that, and that has helped me many times, when even when my daughter journeyed on. I know one time I was having a rough time, and I really, really, I think I must have been crying in my sleep. And next thing I know, I see this white light coming in. When you're half asleep and you're just drifting, you see this light comes. Well, with me, if I see a light come on, I gotta wake up. But I didn't really wake up. And what happened was, this light come into my bedroom. And next thing I know, I felt this go. And then she kissed me on the forehead. Yeah. And I felt my power come back. I felt that I'm okay. And that's what it is, that we're spiritual beings, and we can be receiving those support when we need them. We're never alone. We've never been abandoned. It's us that we're not listening. We're not, as they say, we've gone far out of our environment of not believing, and when traditionally we used to believe in that. And so no matter how far away you go, you can always reach your loved ones, your sisters, your brothers. And so I'm always reminded, from 0 to 7, that's when you have all of them together. You're going to be in a group every 7 years. You're going to be in a group with. So the first 7 years, you're going to have all of them together, like the parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles, and siblings and friends. So after 7 to 14, now that's where the grandparents come in. That's where they reinforce um, who you are, and the work that you have to do. And so the next 14 to 21 will be now the aunties and uncles. And that helped me out a lot, because at first I got upset because my children were going to their aunties and uncles, and I said, "Why? I'm their mom." But mom, I talked to my mom, and my mom says, "Remember what you did? You went to your aunties and uncles. You went to my sister." And I said, "Yeah, that's right." And so we have that support, and we have, when we get to 21 to 27, now it becomes our friends that are there to support us in what we go through. And then from 27 to 34, that's when your parents come in again. Parents are you have, that's when you're finding your own home, your own nest, and you go say, "Ma, can I have this? Ma, can I have that? Dad, can you come over and fix my house? Dad, can you do this?" And so that's that relationship again. And so when we come from 34 to 41, there's your grandparents. And the grandparents are there to help you in understanding a little bit more about life, what the changes you're going through, and they help you understand. And they have more time. And so now you're into 41 to 48. Now come back to your aunties and uncles. And when I think about that stage, how it's grained in us, and that's how it was. I went to my aunties and uncles again. They were there from 41 to 48, but my parents were there. But it was a closer relationship. And so from 48 to 54, there was my friends, because we were pretty well going through the same things. And so it really, that was when we had that support. We knew each other and how to deal with life. And so from 54 to 63, now we go back to our parents. Ma, let's do canning. Dad, tell me some stories. And so this is those seven years cycle. And so when you're 61 to 68, now you talk with your grandparents. You spend a lot, and you help. They come to that aha moment. Oh yeah, I remember when you told me this. I remember, because our grandparents used to live a long time, but today, because of the environment, the food, and our thoughts, um, has not given them that opportunity to live a long time. Because when you hear that people say old age, oh, I never want to get old. Well, it's not an old age. It's just like mature. It's a different understanding, because to the Western way of life, being, they would say you're getting old. Not to us, the traditional way. You are maturing into a professor of life. You have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of knowledge. And so I looked forward when I was getting up there. My goal was I want to pass my grandpas and my grandmas, my aunties and my uncles, and I want to be here for my great 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 grandchildren. That's how much I put that in, because I want to be here for them. I look at myself as I want to be that resilient. I want to show them, because we can't tell them. We have to show them. And so that's my goal as a grandma. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to do a lot of things and let my children say, when grandma said to me a long time ago, I should have been doing that. And so when you're in 75 to 82, now you just, your friends, and sometimes your friends have moved on, journeyed on back to the sky world. And so that time you take that friends a little bit. A lot of people start having, as they say, pets, because everybody's busy now. They're not visiting the grandmas and the grandpas anymore. So they usually have a pet, a dog or a cat, to help them to get through whatever their challenges are. But know that in our way, they say, in the traditional way, the animals had shown us how to adopt. And I come from a very large family, and we would have a lot of our friends or some of the kids in the community be a part of our family. And that's the way it was. You open up your home and you have all these friends. I had to laugh because my mom would just get a charge out of everybody's nickname. And she says to my son, my brother, she says, she laughed because she heard their nicknames. She says, "Where did you find your friends in a department store?" Because one was, his name was Socks. No, Shoes. They called him Shoes. Everybody has nicknames on the reserve, and so my brother had another friend, and he was called Socks. So my mom always made that remark to my brother, and we would always be just laughing. And everyone had a nickname, and that's how we find our families too. Because a lot of the families a long time ago is that genealogy was very important. You know why? Because we had to know who we are so that we didn't marry our family. And that's what all the grandmothers, that was the great grandmothers, that was their role, was to remember. And so some of these books that are behind me, they are of our family. I have 8 binders of family who were related to, and that's my role as a grandma, as a great grandma. I have to gather up the names, and I have another one down here that talks about the people in our community, and their families, because someday their children will may become my great grandchildren. So you see, it's that supporting one another, and so this is the gift of family, and hopefully we can start going to family reunions again, doing family reunions. It not only happens in the summertime, try them in the fall time. We just have, I come from a family of 12, and we have breakfast together. We have suppers together. So these are things that plays a very important role in the youth and the children, because they need to know that relationship. So um, to all of you, thank you for considering us as your grandma and your grandpa. Thank you for, and we're doing our best to give you what can guide you and help you on your journey in life. And so we're very grateful that you are with us, and that you missed us. That made us feel good that you missed us. And so I'm going to turn it over to Neil. Here's a feather.
There's that spiritual feather coming around.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you were asking something. You wanted me to something. What was that? About the songs. Do you remember? See what happening? We're old. We forget.
We have to depend on each other.
Yeah,
I'll sit back and think about it. It'll
something to
come.
do. It was something to do with the songs. Does anybody remember what she said? I don't.
You got, and anybody sharing?
I don't. I don't see anything.
I don't see anything either. Oh, it's truly amazing how the right teaching comes to you when you need it the most. Thank you so much. I really needed this. That's what grandparents are all about, visiting. And so we appreciate you visiting us. And so it's just like the other grandparents are talking to us. Now you tell them, children, you tell them. And so this is how it goes. We listen to Spirit, and Spirit tells us what to give to you to help you.
Yeah, I think that one more song too um, that I wanted to mention that came to me at some point, and to know that this path that we walk on, and it's called wanted to go kian, meaning where I am going to step. Wanted to go kian, where I am about to step. And sometimes we got to remind ourselves when we start walking that we got to look down to see where we're stepping, or we'll go tumbling over. And when I sing that song, I sing it for the people, because it kind of reminds us of that forever path that we were given to walk on this in this physical world. But that forever path also continues into the spirit world, also as well. So when I sing that song, wanted to go kian, I am going to step on this road. I'm getting ready to step on this road. And after a while, you step on this road and you start walking. Wana musayan, wana musayan, wana gukian, wana musayan. And we can walk a long time. I've been walking this earth now, this physical world now, for 74 years. It's been a bumpy ride. It's been a very bumpy ride for me. But when I think about those bumpy rides, I think I get mad at myself for the things I never did that I should have done. And the things I did do, and I remembered a lot of those, drinking and all this other stuff, arguing with my parents.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, sometimes I think about those things. And I do feel sorry. I am sorry for that. But I'm here today to tell that, to let people know that, it's not right to yell at your parents because they're the ones that protected you when you were a baby. So when we get ready on this road, we're walking on this road, and I've walked many miles now. Well, with the help of a vehicle, I've driven many miles as well.
Doske.
Yeah, and then, but that vehicle, my pony, gets me to where I need to be. When people call, I gotta go. Sometimes I have to stop. I know people on the island when I come ask me to do things, but I'm already booked in to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so so I tell them, you need to tell me this 2 weeks ago, so I
3
can be
weeks.
ready to do what you asked me to do.
Yeah.
And that's how that works. Mind you, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have to just go because they really need you.
Yeah.
They really need you there. And so when we walk on this road, we're walking on this road now. For me, again, like I said earlier, that I don't know how much time I got left here. I don't think about it though. I don't think about it. When Creator says, "Hey, here, come on, let's go home. Achicha, bebe, giwe da, let's go home. Big giwe and come home now," is what He will say. And then all of a sudden, I'd have to look back at my life. I look at my children. I look at my grandchildren. I look at my great grandchildren. I look at the people that I've met through my life. All my walking, when I sobered up, I met a lot of people, a lot of good people, people who stood by me when I needed that. And when my Peggy passed away, that's the other part of that, right? They become my family. Those that stood by me, that supported me when she passed, they become my family. And I appreciate that. I'll never forget that. Now I'm here. I'm trying to teach those songs that were given to me so that everybody can carry them. So when they need one of those songs, they can sing it. So now, when the other part of that song is that when you get to the certain point on your road, that's when Creator will come. Ishbiming Don Jaba. I come from up there in the spirit world. Wanagukia. Wanamusea. Ishbiming Don Jaba. So when I sing that song, I'm talking about that road that we're walking on. I'm talking about the people that are on the side of the road that we need to help help them back onto this road. Those that are able to do it. Those who are learning how to do that. And for me, like I said earlier, I really enjoy helping people when I can. I really enjoy that. I really like singing to them, letting them know that these songs aren't only for me, but they're for everybody. Like the honor song, the eagle that can fly the highest, that can soar through the skies, brings those messages from Creator to us, takes our prayers to the Creator when we give prayers. And so that's that part, right? And we have to remind ourselves the power of prayer. The power of prayer. Some people don't believe it. That's fine. They don't believe it. That's good. That's all right. It's what they believe, how they believe. I can't change that. but I can let them know what I believe. So they understand that the belief system is one of the key components of how we live. When we say our prayer, the power in it, and it is something we have to remind ourselves too. Excuse me just for a second. I got to sneeze. There it is. It came out. You should see the curtain. No, I'm just kidding. So again, like the power of prayers. So it is so, you just got to have the faith and belief in yourself that it's going to work. Because people ask me to do prayers for them when I have long distance prayers. And I do them. I do them. Remember when I said that sometimes people call me to sing them a song. I offer the prayer, then the song. And then but then I had called them back to make sure they're okay. Yeah, they're okay. Sometimes they ask me to say a prayer for the ones that are getting ready to step across to that spirit world. That's the most difficult part. That's the most difficult part for me anyway. Letting somebody go and letting them know that this prayer is going to be for them so that we can be strong here, and to help those that need our help. So that power of prayer does work. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, your faith and belief in it has got to be strong, like a bull, like a bear, like a kitten. Because even little cats are strong. Even those little dogs are strong. So when I sing my songs, I sing them to you. I let you take them. I'll explain the songs, I'll teach you the songs, and you take those and you sing them out loud. The one song I also sing is a Spirit Woman song. And that's where us men got to remind ourselves the importance of women beside us, not behind us. Not behind us, but beside us. When I sing that song, I sing it for the women. I also sing it for the men as well, but I ask the men to stand, to honor the women, and to honor ourselves as we go through this life. But it's not only, when I sing the song, I say, Anishinaabe kwe bidasmuse, bimwedon bimadzewin. And I don't only mean Anishinaabe kwe. I also mean the Haudenosaunee women, the beautiful women from the Haudenosaunee Nation. I know some people. I know some women down there, beautiful women, just like in our Anishinaabe women, beautiful. The Cree, beautiful. All of them, everyone. The 4 races of men, the men and women, they're all beautiful. Mm-hmm. One day somebody said to me, and somebody said to me, Neil, geez, I feel ugly today. I looked at her and I said, there's no such thing as ugly, I said. There's no such thing as ugly. You're beautiful, I said. You're a beautiful woman. And they'd say, thank you. Because that's all they need to hear is something like that. Women need to hear that. Us men need to project ourselves and say, these women are beautiful. They are strong. And then there's that strength. When they walk beside you, you can feel that strength of them. The power that they have. when man and woman get together, they're probably one of the strongest. It's like a sweetgrass. When you braid sweetgrass, you cannot break sweetgrass. If the man and woman love each other so much, they love each other so much that you cannot break them. Because in order for that love to grow, us men have to look after the women. And then the women have to look after the men as well, because that's a two-way street, or a two-way path, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So when I sing that song, I sing it for the women. I sing it for the women on this side of the world. I sing it for the women on the other side of the world, wherever grandfather's son walks, that forever path that he walks around that earth. And I sing it for them. When Grandmother Moon pops up, oh, she's out there now. I've seen her before I close the curtain. I don't want the people looking at me when I'm talking to
you. Are you on first floor?
I'm on the 5th.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah. So when I sing that song, Anishinaabe Kwe Bidas Mose Bim Widon Bimadzwe, woman coming from the east, and she's bringing life with her. Bringing life with her. Because women were given that special gift to bring life into this world, to carry that little one. Yet they're still over there watching to see who their parents are going to be. They're still on the other side. They're looking. We're looking for their parents. And when they find them, they point to them. And they talk to the Creator. Then they said, "He's Creator, Grandfather. These are I want these ones to be my parents." That's when Creator brings them together. So when that happens, that's when that life between man and women begin to walk. And that's what we have to learn, That's what us men have to learn, that to look after the women. For me, I walk alone, but not really. But physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm walking alone because my wife left. She's gone to the Creator. She went to the spirit world. And I still remember the crazy things she used to do. And that's how I met Grandmother Renee. It's through my wife. I didn't know they knew each other. Not till my wife introduced me to her, to Grandmother Renee. And that was it. Our friendship began right there too. And it will continue forever.
Yeah.
So when the song comes in, the spirit woman song comes in, I sing it for the women. I sing it because of what they went through. I think about the aunties that went through what why we're doing reconciliation activities this weekend. I think about those women, and I think about the children they lost, the ones that are being found now, and I sing for them. And when I sing that song, I always think about those young ones. This thing happened to me, a vision. I guess you would say a vision or a dream, daytime dream. When I heard about the first 215 that were found, I couldn't believe it. They found them, some of them, and I prayed. I sent a prayer out for them. And as I was looking out my window back to the back window, my bedroom window leads to the bush into my backyard. all of a sudden, and I know what I saw. I know what I saw because I saw her. I saw a vision of a young girl standing there. Her hair was, it had that little cut like this across, like this, squared off on the top, and then squared off down this and squared back like that. She was wearing a dark sweater, white top, and I forget the color of her dress. She was wearing, what do you call those? Is it knee socks they call them? They come up to your knees, and
Yeah.
and a pair of black shoes. And that's what I saw. And you know what? She smiled. I could see her teeth, her white teeth. She smiled. After I said that prayer, she showed up. And I will always remember that. Again, I go back to the power of prayer. I believe that she came and thanked me for that prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I believe. And I think she's happy because now they have been found. They're now finding them. We need to do more prayers for them. So when I sing the song, Anishinaabe, I'm not only talking about Anishinaabe. I'm talking to my beautiful women friends of the Haudenosaunee Nation. I'm talking about the women of the Cree Nation, the nations out west, the nations out the East Coast, nations out in the United States, nations all over with women that are struggling. Maybe one day I'll sing that song for all of you. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that we're doing this again.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm gonna send some jokes to Grandmother Renee. She'll tell you the jokes.
I'm only here to laugh and enjoy them.
See, that's the thing. Eh? That's the thing when you got. I remember this one time we were sitting in the. I think it was in Toronto. I don't think Grandmother Renee was there, but all of a sudden we were sitting in this circle, singing with a bunch of the elders there. Eh? I don't know how it started, but it started, and my stomach was sore from laughing. Oh my goodness! It's all the stories that came out. Eh? And as you get older, you'll know some of those stories. As you all, some of you are probably around my age or somebody younger, maybe. But when you reach that age, you sit in a circle with, like we're doing, you'll hear the laughter. Right? Kind of like what that comedian says about the women laughing. Don Bernstein. He talks about that. Oh my God. And I know that happens too. I see them. I see women laughing. And, oh, like that. They go right back.
That's why I'm trying to keep my hands down.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about enough I have to say for now, and I'm going to pass the feather back over.
That's the joy of us. And I really appreciate how I met Peggy. And lo and behold, like, Creator put that for us. Just, I almost, when I thought about after she had journeyed on, it was like she said, "No, you'll take care of him and make him laugh." And I said, "No, he makes me laugh." And so I really, I think about her so much. She made a big impact in my life. When we were teenagers, I just like, wow. The first time we met, it was just like we were going to know each other forever, and it was just like unbelievable. It's, you meet some people, and it's just like you've known them forever, and even though you don't see them, their paths go this way and yours go this way. You're still friends, and you'll be friends forever. And it's just like, and then so when I met you, I said, oh, I will see her more often. And so whenever I see you, I see her more often. So I thank her. So we talk about families. So in a sense, we become that family. In our tradition, we kind of adopt each other as in our we would have ceremonial friends. So in a sense, me and you are like ceremonial brothers and sister, our brother and sister, and we're here to support others. And so that's what the Creator He made families in creation so that everybody would feel belong. And so we have many, many, many families. We have many families, just like you and I, how we became family. And it's there's families of your birth families, and then you have your clan families, and you have your nation family. Then you have your ceremonial friends family. Then you have your lacrosse family. I mean, your sports family. You have your school mates that becomes your family, your extended family. Then then it becomes your friends. That becomes another family, and it goes on and on and on. That now you have friends that from the territories, and when you go to another territory, you have another family, and that's how the Creator made it, so that whenever you went visiting, you would have a family here, family there. Just like I'm so happy that Neil has family down here because he's taken care of whenever he comes to our territory, and I'm so glad they take good care of him. And then there's also co-workers, and then there's your buddies that you like you met at the laundromat. For some reason, you just connected and you had that similarities in life, and so that's another family. And so you have families of passion, you have families of faith, you have families of careers, you have families of education or whatever career you're in. So you have a lot of families, and it's not just the siblings, and that's what the Creator had planned. Just think about how many families you have. It's just like a raindrop, and it goes wider and wider and wider. You have friends across the ocean. You have different nationalities as friends. You have community friends. So there's so much that we forget because the Creator always wanted us to be taken care of in a good way. And so we have like even powwow dancing, socials. We have our social families, we have powwow families, we have drumming families, we have singing groups. They call them groups, but originally we call them families. And so what we have here is always acknowledge that we have been very blessed and that we have these friends. If one friend isn't there, then we can always have another friend. We're never to be alone. And so the next friend would be the creation, the natural world with the animals, and many people have since COVID have taken on dogs and pets, and so that's your family. And they when they leave, it hurts us just as much as a human being. And so to all of you that have them as a friend, we're very lucky because they know how to love us, and we're very blessed that the Creator made sure that all of us would never be, as they say, alone. And so tonight we are your family. Tonight we have shared an evening with you. We have shared our love and our laughter, and most of all, our stories. And we shared with you the challenges and how to overcome them. And that's the most important thing is that knowing that now we're your Zoom family. We got a new name. We're the Zoom family. Just sound like a space age family, like the Jetsons.
We're doing.
So, if there's any questions, if you'd like to, maybe you could put down some things you would like some nights to for us to talk about. So, oh yes, Debbie. Oh yes. So, that was I was just hoping to meet you last night when I was up in that area, but I'm going to be back there in 2 weeks, so I'll see you guys again. I'll be in your area. Yeah, I had the opportunity last night. I was in Midland and I got the chance to meet and reacquaint with a lot of again family. The family that we went to get. We had oh goodness. Look at our somebody missing our federation time together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another training time too. So you see we have many families. And so hopefully whenever you're in that place, the most important friends is your spiritual friends. The friends, the families that have gone on, they're there to help you. And so always say to yourself, I am lucky. I am blessed. And so, with that, we are very grateful that you have joined us tonight, and we thank you for your texting here. Oh, thank you for your love. It means it is medicine for all of us, and especially when we're on the road and we have our family reaching out. It's so nice because when we're both traveling, and when we go to a different territory, we have a family that is there to greet us and to welcome us, and we're never feel like we're not we're not alone. Sometimes even my children, they would say, "Oh, Mom, I don't want you traveling alone." I says, I don't travel alone. I have a whole carload of everybody in my vehicle. And I said, sometimes they tell me to get off the road. And I'm so glad they do. Because sometimes it's an accident up ahead. But there's always a carload. And if I'm sitting by myself, I'm not really sitting by myself because there's always that seat is filled with those that have gone on or those that are coming, the new ones. And so tonight we have shared the most beautiful evening. And oh, yes, that's where we are at the Federation. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. It's so nice to be reconnected again. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for these beautiful messages. We'll just have to say, we'll be in your town. So here's Jody. Yay.
I was
Our
waiting
other
for the
family,
cue.
our Zoom family.
It was beautiful. As much as in the background, I was, thinking, oh, I'll get caught up on some things. I just couldn't pull myself away from listening to you both. You're amazing. Yawa for this time tonight. I needed it. And I think many others did too. So Yawa, and this week, take care of each other.
You too.
And know that that there's community reaching out and making opportunities for us to gather together to feel love and just to be able to support each other in this time. We do have a live event happening 11:30 on Friday Eastern time, so you can just like our Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it'll just inform you. And then in person, you can go see these two lovely people at Gage Park in Hamilton. I'm not sure what the times are for that. Do you know? Is it all day?
Pretty much all day, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember when it starts though.
I think it starts about 11.
Was it 11?
Yeah.
Just in time for lunch.
Yeah.
For real.
But a lot of people are setting up, so I like to get there early and see what nice things they got. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna try to make my way. You said it's Saturday as well.
Yeah.
So I'll come over. We're having our walk and ceremony at Country Heritage Park from 10 until noon. And so we'll gather there and do our walk, and I think we'll make our way over to visit you at Gage Park. That sounds
okay.
wonderful. And Amber's asking how often do these events happen? And I think are you talking about the lives with these two amazing people? If it is, it seems that they like to do this in the winter and fall and the time for storytelling. And so we're just grateful that they make this time to come and visit us and share their stories and love and rememberings and memories. And so Nyawa to you both.
Yeah.
Safe journeys, Neil. You
How-
chameleon.
Fit right into the wall. Yeah. Well, anyway, I want to thank everybody too, the ones that came to listen, and thank you, because I kind of think you guys, you all make our day. You make our evening. You make everything go. And I thank you for that. And I want to thank Jody again for bringing us back. And hopefully that it'll happen again soon, whenever we can do that, and or whenever we're not busy.
I was just going to say that. We work around you. So whenever you're ready, we're here to get you out there. So
yeah. So next time though, I think maybe I will teach you some of those songs that we talked about the next time we're on. And just
did you? Oh, I didn't hear you sing one though. But
no, I didn't sing one tonight because I'm in a hotel room.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
got a
Somebody be
policy.
banging on your door.
Exactly.
They have a policy.
Yeah.
No loud music.
Or I don't want to be I don't want people standing out there when I leave in the morning with autograph books.
Right?
So I'm going to say good night.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank everybody. Thank you. Be safe, please, all of you. And Creator willing, I shall be back.
And we will.
How do you do that? Adios.
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 See ya.
I thought you were doing Hawaiian.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay. You guys
Good
take
night.
care. See you later. Good night, everyone.